Welcome to the first episode of
GrowthArtic.
Lesson 1, don't clap that loud on a podcast.
Too much.
Way too much noise. Hendrik, what are we up to?
We want to be GrowthArtic.
We want to be so GrowthArtic.
And we want to produce a GrowthArtic podcast.
So what does this GrowthArtic shit mean?
This means in German, it's a German word originally, and it means awesome. So GrowthArtic means awesome.
Absolutely.
As an English translation. And so after a few beers, we had the fantastic idea to do something like a board game or something like this, and then it was GrowthArtic.
Yeah, so the first beer was actually in Slovenia on the airport of Ljubljana.
Right.
And we had this. We just scribbled down in my notebook like what kind of topics we should do, how our positioning.
Do you have it here in your office?
I think I have it right here. Yeah, people on the podcast can't see it, but in case you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can actually take a look
for a lot of ideas.
It's a big ass notebook, and as you can see,
Great.
we have many goals and many ideas for this podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the story behind was that we are sitting in the same co-working space here in Cologne, it's the Startplatz. And we're working close and sharing leads and thoughts and ideas, but there's no real partnership or something like this.
And that's going to change today.
We want to change. And then we said, okay, both of us have the same problem or challenge that we want to produce a lot of growth content, or we could say GrowthArtigan content.
That is amazing.
But to do it alone, it's a habit and it's really hard. And so here's the chance to do it together so that we can motivate together, we can produce a lot of things together.
So what's in it for people listening or watching the show? So what can we offer actually?
So if we have a look at the feedbacks we got beforehand, we would say, okay, I think we both are addicted to growth topic, so how to grow businesses, how to grow ideas.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing we both have totally in common.
We are also about the same age. I'm 35, you are?
35. No, I'm 30. I'm turning 38 this summer, so a little bit older.
But we both have kids. You have one daughter, as I understand, and I have two daughters. Mine are 3 years old and 6 months old. How about you?
3.5. My daughter's Marlene is 3.5. Yeah.
And we both have the challenge of balancing like a business life, an entrepreneurial life with a family life, and doing our own shit. You're addicted to sports, right?
Before I started my own company 1.5 years ago, I was really addicted to sport, and then I had to focus. Maybe that's a good topic for this podcast as well.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, now I have to focus building up my business. So now it runs 1.5 years later, and I start doing a lot of sports again.
So what did you do in your job before?
I used to work for a company here in Cologne. It's called Trusted Shops, and I was a 5th employee in a startup 10 years or now 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So completely startup atmosphere. In a startup, you have to do everything. So I'm able to code. So I learned coding at the university, and if you come as a coder in a startup, you have to do everything.
Yes, you do.
Probably a lot of people of you know. And then we grew this company.
And you had to manage a lot of people in that growth effort, right?
After 3-4 years, I started building up a team, and in the end, after 10 years, the team was 56 people, big.
Yeah.
Huge, I would say. And that's another challenge. So from a convinced single fighter in doing growth hacking all the day, I turned to be a leader, a manager of 56 people, and I can tell you there's a difference. It was pretty cool to learn, but in the end I decided to make a restart to be a single growth hacker
again.
Yeah.
But still, if you have questions about the topic of building teams and managing the growth effort of a bigger company, I think Hendrik is the right guy. I would also ask questions about.
But Ben, what's your story?
I'm actually, I studied psychology. Before that, I was 4 years an Air Force officer for the German Air Force. And during my psychology studies, I needed to start up my own thing. Mm-hmm. So I built up a student consultancy, all centered around personnel training. And out of that developed my sales abilities, the real communication skills, the planning workshops and stuff like that. And we were a team of about 12 psychology students. And like after 2 or 3 years, I felt the need to go B2C, to really use the emergence of online passive income opportunities. I was on that trip that I really wanted to have passive income. So I started to building websites like orchid care websites, drone websites, all kinds of shit.
So when was it? Which year?
So I started in 2008. So this year is my 10th year anniversary as an entrepreneur.
Cool.
And now I'm 8 years full-time, self-employed. And then I started to do apps. We raised around 7-digit round for an app incubator in which we developed a ton of ideas, this whole startup idea validation system that we might talk about today as well. And then we built 150 landing pages just to validate ideas, to see which app ideas are good and bad. And then we actually built 6 apps really quick in about 2 years. And from that I left. That is 2 years ago. So that was the time when I founded Pirate Skills, the meetup series. And I think that's what kind of brought us together. You were the first speaker at the Pirate Skills meetup.
Great.
And you rounded up the 24th, the second anniversary meetup as well, which was great.
And I hired you as a growth marketer for a former Trusted Shops project.
Yes, that was a fun project.
Was this our first contact, or was the growth meetup before?
Growth meetup was before.
Okay.
And then we were in touch with Kevin as well. And
Kevin Calais.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Good guy, especially in the Amazon arena. And I think when he left that project, you were looking for somebody.
Substitution,
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
Great
how
project.
we got to know each other and what our background is. And how did we come up with this weird podcast thing, and how did we actually validate that?
I think I left the sentence before. So I have a challenge not in my daily business, but I think there's a big challenge in the business. Everybody has to produce content regularly. And
why is that so? Why do we need to produce content? Why do you think so?
Yeah, because all the people are selling online. We want to sell online for ourselves or for our clients, and nobody wants to buy it anymore in the first touch point.
Yeah.
So here is my product. You want to buy on Facebook. Nobody's on Facebook. Just for example, Facebook. From my point of view, is nobody's on Facebook for buying something.
Yes.
If you want to buy something, you go to Amazon or to Google or wherever, or to an online shop, but not to Facebook. And that means you have to play with content before, to write tutorials or good tips or produce videos without selling in the first case. And then in the end, to make it really short, the funnel behind, the sales funnel behind should do the selling. But that means in the first place, you have to produce content. And I don't talk about the Insta story stuff.
Yeah.
I'm here at the Cologne airport or whatever.
And we're not talking about the 100 SEO pages like you would have done like I have done 10 years ago.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a story. It's a content. And I think we have a lot of ideas what to say to our community or what to produce. But in the end, producing content is work. It's a lot of effort.
It's so much work.
And
it's so worth it, but it's so much work. And like especially putting your face in front of a camera or in front of a microphone.
To do the setup and everything. And
Here, Alex, can you look into the camera, Alex, and say hello?
Hello.
Hey, this was Alex. He helped us set up the video and audio just a minute, and he's probably gonna help us with the editing and everything.
There was
afterwards.
a movie 4 or 5 years ago. There was one guy called The Guy on the Couch.
The Guy on the Couch.
Do you know which movie it was?
No.
I will find out for the next episode what is the name of the movie. But there was always the story was running, and there was always the guy on the couch, and there was always one guy just
chilling there.
Just chilling there. So it was.
So the two content types that at least I believe in strongly, and please disagree if you do, is video and audio. Yeah, video is now this. YouTube is such an old channel, but people start to get how big YouTube is slowly, that it actually is the second largest search engine, that you can learn and find everything on YouTube. Yeah, and the second emergence is of voice. I'm not thinking already Alexa voice. Yeah, that's coming too, but maybe a couple of years up. But podcasting, yeah, and really giving somebody the attention for 20 minutes, for 45 minutes. Who does that anymore except with podcasts? So those types of contents is what we are talking about, right?
Right. That's what we try to do. So what I learned since I'm growing my own company is there's a lot of waiting, or a lot of more waiting time than before, because we are sitting in the train, or we have to wait here or wait there. And so for me, a podcast is a good killer for killing, or a good thing for killing waiting time.
Yeah,
just
and
20
you can learn in
minutes.
the meantime.
Just hearing something. You don't have to be that concentrated to hear.
Yeah.
It can just hearing something, some ideas, and you get something out or not. So that's one big advantage what I see in podcasts.
Any podcast you particularly like?
So I started the podcast challenge, I think, only 6 or 7 months ago. So my favorite podcast is the one from Joel Kaczmarek. It's called Digitale Kompakt in German. So it's about sales, building up sales teams and online marketing. So doing more sales. I think it's pretty good and pretty interesting. And the second best was a recommendation of you on the Ljubljana airport, was from David Brüch.
Yeah.
It's 5 Ideen.
5 ideas.
It's in German, so it's 5 Ideen. So that are my two favorite podcasts I have so far.
I think I like the Tim Ferriss podcast at the moment, which is more like an interview format, him interviewing like the best performers in the world. And the TMBA podcast, the Tropical MBA, two guys.
It was a recommendation, but I didn't hear it so far. Yeah.
Two guys like us on a similar level that were exchanging ideas and talking about topics that other people might be interested in. And I think that's kind of the format we are looking for. Us talking about concrete subjects for about 20 minutes. We are now in 13 already. Time goes fast. Damn
that's
it.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot one podcast.
What did you do?
I had two guys in my growth hacking bootcamp in Hamburg last year.
Yeah.
And they are doing the Digitale Nomaden podcast. And they are doing a pretty good job. I started listening a few weeks ago. It's about how to become a digital nomad and what to do and how to build up passive income businesses and so on. And
so you just mentioned 3 German podcasts.
German,
Right. Why the hell are we doing this in English?
Because we think, or we both think, that our goal is to increase our reach, right? So we can tell this. It's not a secret, and we say, okay, just speaking English, just speaking German is a not necessary limitation, and
it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity to do it in English because
the world speaks English. It's
the world speaks English.
Second, it's the most spoken second language for most people. And if you look into countries like Scandinavia, they wouldn't even consider, like the Finnish people, they wouldn't consider targeting something for their own people because there are like 300,000 Finnish people. And in Germany we have this problem that the German market is big enough. You can have a multi-million-dollar business easily within Germany, but that also keeps us small-minded a little bit. We usually go German first. We can still go German second. It's super easy for us, but going English first, That is, I think, the decision we made.
Yeah.
And if we want to do workshops here in Cologne, in German, no problem. Yeah, nobody will
We do
mind.
it. So for an
we actually
insurance
do it.
in Germany, you should do it in German,
Yeah.
because nobody will
Yeah.
understand you if you do it in English. But I have one more reason why I like it to do in English, because I told my teams in my former job always, if you don't speak English, you won't learn it.
Yes.
So, and maybe you hear it, we are not perfect English speakers, we are not native, so we couldn't be perfect, but I want to train my English skills. Because I know just by speaking English, you will train it. And so that's one more reason to do it in English.
Yeah, for me, my meetup series in English, lots of client communications in English. I raised my daughter in English. Did you know that, by the way?
Your second one too?
Both, yeah. They don't talk. Like,
you said just one, so maybe
No.
one in English, one in German. That would be a funny idea, but not a GrowthArtic, I think.
Yeah, so
cool.
that's also a reason for me to keep practicing, to keep in the loop, and to actually produce lots of language. So we didn't go about starting the podcast just nilly-willy. Yeah, we went about it really consciously and asked people what they actually want. At the last Pirate Skills meetup on startup idea validation. Alex, can you maybe open the door that people can see the poster if they like? This is where this happened, and this is just a week ago or two. Right?
I saw your calendar on the other side. Okay.
Yeah. On the other side, there you see the startup idea validation on April 4th. This is where we introduced to people the idea that we that we wanted to start a podcast, and we told them if we don't get 100 positive feedbacks and people telling us, giving us their email address to follow up and to tell us why they wanted us to create a podcast, we wouldn't do it. So we were really serious about this whole idea validation business.
Yeah.
You especially. Why was it so important for you?
So maybe some of you know this kind of challenge. So I think you wanted it a little bit more. Yeah,
to just do the podcast.
Just do the podcast. I said, okay, I know there is a challenge. I know that could be a good solution for our common problem. But I said, okay, before we have so many ideas and so many to-dos on our to-do list, like you as well. And so I said, okay, let's find this thing, a validation before, because we are always training the big corporates how to be faster, how to fail faster, and so on. And I said, okay, we have to do it for ourselves too, right? Because we are authentic, or we want to be authentic. And then we said, okay, what do we have to do? And then we built up a landing page. I think
you did that. You built a WordPress landing page. What kind of systems did you use? You said it was a one-button thing.
I would say 3 buttons. So I have it's called, it's from Cloudways. I just click a button in my web admin interface and say, okay, set up a new server, set up a new application. What do you want on it? Okay, WordPress in the latest version. And then it takes always, I think it doesn't take 2 or 3 minutes. They just show the loading wheel that it feels for me that it is a lot of work for them, but I think it's just for me it's just a button, and then 2 minutes later the WordPress thing is up and running.
Cool.
Then we have to find a great theme. I took my typical landing page theme.
It reminded me of Growth Europe, your upcoming conference.
That's completely right, but it's another color set.
Yes. I thought it was great.
We have to be fast, and
it just had 2 options, like, yes, do this podcast, and please don't do this podcast.
But honestly, with the same...
It was the same
target.
People just went to the Google form.
To the Google form, that was the second one. So we knew, okay, we want to get feedback. We could take SurveyMonkey or Typeform. I just chose Google Docs because I know that's the third step. We can connect this totally easy with MailChimp. Yeah. Because we want to have all email addresses in MailChimp for sure, because we want to show you that where we are going with this podcast idea. And I would say an effort of, we bought the domains before.
Yes, we did.
We bought the domains.
GrowthArtic.
GrowthArtic with C in the end. So that's the final result. But because we hope that we got a lot of German fans or followers, we bought as well GrowthArtic So the GrowthArtic with a G in the end, and there's a redirection to the.
And we got the .com and the .de, and the main domain, if you want to check us out, is growthartic.com with the C.
Yeah, that's the end.
So we got that done, and then we started to hustle. We had a segment in the meetup where about 60 people were joining us live, and some on the live stream, where we said, okay, this is our idea. If you want to go for it, join the email list and tell us why. And then we hustled on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and we did videos.
I sent an email to my personal growth hacking
I did too.
Newsletter pool.
Yeah.
And I think we left the meetup, so with our first a little bit launch thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a recommendation. Just if you wait for traffic, maybe nothing will.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so I think the idea to integrate it in the frame of the meetup was really good, because we left the meetup in the evening, I think with the first up to 30 feedbacks.
Yeah.
So do it as a yes, and a small comment why we should do this. So
cool.
It's a motivational thing as well.
Yeah. And then we set a limit. So this meetup was on April 4th.
Yeah, right.
Our limit was 7 days afterwards. So last Wednesday, that is 2 days ago. Today is Friday, I don't know which date is today, 17th?
It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah. So it's a wonderful day to start a podcast.
I had no idea.
I'm pretty sure audio is messed up or something. Or we didn't press record or shit. So, no, we did. So, now this is all very close, yeah? And then we had to have this 100 feedbacks. We got it on Wednesday in the afternoon around 4 o'clock. We have 100 and a couple now.
Yeah.
If you still want to tell us why we should keep on doing this podcast, we're going to keep the page up in a while. But we're also going to have the links to all the major podcast places. So you can review us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, wherever you enjoy that. We don't want to force people to watch it in that way or the other. We're also going to have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel where we're going to push the videos up and the audio version, I guess, as well. Yeah. So that's how we validated in phase 1 if this is a good idea. Everything else now comes from you guys. Yeah, if you're gonna tell us this is bullshit, please be honest and do that and tell us about it. You can always reach us at
growthartic.com.
b@growthartic.com. That is our email address.
That's a new one.
b@growthartic is the main email address for all social media profiles we use.
I thought you took the B because of Ben.
No,
but
no, BE.
Yeah,
because
but I didn't.
Be awesome.
Honestly, I didn't get it before. I thought it's B for Ben, and I get a H for Hendrik at GrowthArtic.
We got those too. So if you want to write an email to Hendrik, it's H or Hendrik with a K at
Take the B. That's a beautiful idea I didn't get before because. Okay, but it's good. I learned something today.
Okay, so how about we wrap this up with some ideas of topics we would like to talk about in the upcoming episodes. So we talked a little bit about the T-shaped growth hacker. Yeah. That is a concept you are more attuned with. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, that's a great topic to. So I always start this story with, I haven't known before that the T-shirt is named T-shirt because it looks like a T. So everybody else knew before, but I didn't, and it's the same for the T-shaped concept. So the idea is that to be digital proof, I would say, you have to be really broad in your skills, not as an expert, but I always say, okay, you have to have a kind of lunch niveau in all the skills, in email marketing, in social marketing, in sales,
a conversation about
building landing pages, how to set up a server. It's not IT stuff anymore, but you have to know how it works. So that you have to be really broad and all-rounder in all the skills. But in the end, to have a personal positioning, you have to be at least one specialty in one skill. Where you say, okay, I'm the best in building landing pages, I'm the best in doing sales, or my voice is that nice, or whatever it is. And that makes a vertical line. So then in the end, it's a T.
So what would you say in my case? You know me a little bit. What is my T shape?
I would say you're pretty broad in all the marketing stuff, and then you have two. So maybe not you're not a T shape. Maybe you're a P shape, and that means I would say you're a data nerd.
Yeah.
So you're
analytics and data.
Addicted to data, analytics, to do the curves and everything, and maybe because of your background as a psychologist, I would say you're really, really addicted to think in the problem. What could be the right solution? That could be to make it quick.
Yeah, I think so too. For you, I would say it's your broad shape. You have your technical background, you have your team building and management background, you got your product background, and I think your main T is product. Yeah. Actually, would you agree?
I would agree, because I always think, okay, I love to be a product owner. Yeah. I love to think in a product, and a product manager, a product owner has to do everything. He has to be good in marketing, he has to be good in technical, a good one. And
but product is really a category in and of itself.
I love product management that much. And
so that's going to be one of the topics we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about which skills are really important to you. And we try to keep this short. Like this went on for about 26 minutes now. We try to keep it under 20-25 minutes.
We have to train our skills to be...
And to give you the nuggets. So we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and to the podcast. And see you next time, man. That was amazing.
That was great.
Bye.
We had fun. We hope you too.
See you later.
See you later.